Hello everyone, today is a sketchbook little video. So I have my supplies and then I have a bunch of stuff that I wanted to maybe put in it that I decide a little bit later. But these are my spreads if you're wondering. I like just really intense collages with really strange things in them. So I want to do this particular drawing is the thing that I wanted to add into my spread. I had done this before in a previous sketchbook that I'll pull out in a bit to kind of show what I did, but for now we're just cutting the edge to make it fit inside, and that's my favorite scissors I have. I literally love them. They're amazing, and they're so, they don't hurt to use like most scissors do, because they're made, I think, for crafting and scrapbooking and stuff. But I want to talk a little bit about why I drew this scene again, and it's mainly just because I love this scene so much, and this scene always makes me so incredibly emotional. Every single time I watch it, I literally start bawling, and I can't watch it anymore. I literally cannot. It's too much emotionally for me to even look at, because I love Toga so much. She is probably my favorite anime character of all time. She is one of my favorite characters in any franchise of all time. I've just always really loved her, and she is just so incredibly special to me. And so I love drawing her. I love adding her in my art. And so now I'm just trying to figure out which way I wanted it to go. I originally was going to make it go this way because that's how I went in my original drawing of this in the original sketchbook. I'll bring it out in a second. That's how I originally did it. It takes me a little bit while to find. I literally passed it. I just watched myself pass it, but we will go back to it and open it up. But you'll see that it's going the same way that I originally showed, but I actually ended up changing it because I liked the way it folded out better. I thought it was more interesting than the other one. And yeah, that's the old one, and then compared to the new one, I think that the differences are just so crazy. The new one is just 10 times better. It's so much better, and to think that's only a year apart is pretty crazy. Now, while I'm not that active in the My Hero fandom anymore, I still do like and enjoy the characters of the show. I don't really, actually, I have not even watched the last season, and a lot of it is because I don't know if I'm emotionally ready to handle watching it end, but specifically the Toga scenes, because every single time I see clips of it, I literally start bawling, I start crying. So I don't even know if I could actually watch the end of the show. I know how it ends. I've seen so many clips and people talk about it. I know it, but I just don't know if I'm really ready to watch it end yet. My Hero was my first ever anime, and it was also my first ever real fandom. Before that, I had made Monster High fanfiction and stuff. I kind of talked about that in my sketchbook tours because there's a lot of those characters in there. But I really never was in a fandom at all. I never had social media or anything, so I really just wasn't that involved in stuff that was culturally significant to that time. And I remember watching a episode of My Hero for the first time and thinking that I for some reason thought that Mineta was Deku, and I was so confused. And I think it was just because I couldn't tell who was talking at the same time, or something confused me. But for a good couple minutes, I genuinely thought that, and I was like, this is strange. But I remember it was the USJ. It's the attack when they're it's in the first or second season or something. And it's when they're attacked by the League of Villains for the first time. It's the first time you see the League of Villains. Or it's the first time you see Shigaraki. But that was the first ever episode I ever watched. And then I was I kind of do want to watch the show. And so I ended up binge watching all the seasons that were out. So it was up to season 3 in 2 days. It was a lot of long nights spent just watching My Hero. And I became obsessed. I'd never become obsessed with something so much. I do have, like, an obsession with toys and stuff, but I'd never been obsessed with, like, a media, a show or a TV show or a movie or anything like I was obsessed with My Hero. And I just wanted My Hero everything. I think I had probably about, like, 40 My Hero t-shirts. Probably not that many. I probably had, like, 30. But I had so many. I would buy every single time there's a new one at Hot Topic. I would save up my money to buy it, and I literally would wear a different one every single day. And I had, like, combos, and my combos were literally, like, my Hero shirt tucked into black skinny jeans and my Doc Marten boots. It was a crazy outfit, but I also had a bob. So it was definitely something. It was definitely very, like, 2019, 2020, which is, like, when I was in my peak My Hero obsession. And so, yeah, I was very obsessed. I had My Hero everything. I drew so much My Hero fan art. It was crazy. I think I started liking it actually more in 2018. No, maybe it was 2017. I don't know. It was, like, a year or two after the show had originally come out. 'Cause season 3 had been out. So it must have been whenever season 3 came out, that is when I started watching My Hero. And yeah, I just became obsessed with it. It was my first ever obsession. And I'm not as obsessed with it as I was. I am still obsessed with some characters. Mainly, I love the League of Villains. I just think they are just such cool characters. And I loved any scenes with them. I genuinely like them so much. So I love collecting merch for the League of Villains specifically. I don't really collect any hero merch besides Hawks. I just really like his character, and I love Dobby Hawks so much. It's, like, become a part of my soul now, and I really like his character. I like his character, I like his design, I like how he's, like, a bird, I like his wings. Yeah, I think he's an interesting character, and I like his dynamic with the rest of the cast. I think that's very interesting, and I like reading about it and watching things on it and drawing it, so those are, like, my main characters I still really like from the show, and I still buy media and merch from and all sorts of stuff and draw them and stuff. So that's mainly it. I used to have a lot more, like, anime stuff, and I have, like, decluttered a lot of it. I try to only buy things, like, I try to only buy League of Villains, mainly Toga, because I always prioritize Toga because she is my favorite. So I would rather have a billion Toga merch than, like, one of every single League of Villains character. So I prioritize Toga merch, so I have so much Toga merch. I have a whole Toga shrine, and it needs to grow. There's not enough room for it. And I'll get mainly Dobby Hawk stuff, so I'll try to get, like, their matching, if they're in the same set together, I'll get the matching counterparts and stuff. And I do like getting some other things, like, I like getting Shigaraki stuff because I love Shigaraki as a character, and he is definitely up there for one of my favorites. And I also really like characters like Spinner. I love Spinner so much, and I love Stain too. So they are characters I also like trying to find merch for that I will use. But I used to have a lot more, and I just got rid of it because it just wasn't filling me with joy anymore. And now I really only collect that My Hero stuff and then Danganronpa stuff. I collect mostly any Danganronpa stuff that I like, but I try to just stick to Chihiro merch. Chihiro Fujisaki is my favorite character, so I mainly just like collecting him. But I also love, like, Shuichi and Kokichi, so I also collect a lot of their merch as well, since they are some of my favorite characters. So I have a lot of Sayoma merch, and I have them, like, dedicated to my K-pop / Danganronpa shelf. But back onto this little spread, I tried to, like, plan out what I was doing. If the thing freezes, it's literally just me trying to grab things off my bed because my desk is really small, and so it doesn't really, like, fit a lot. And then you'll see that McDonald's, like, wrapper that I held up. So I kept that because it says Dobby on it, and that's because where I work, there's a McDonald's right next to me, so I just decided to download the app because I just go there like at least once a week. So it's just nice to get points for it so that maybe I can get like a free drink or something. And so I my name like is Dobby Juices for literally everything. So it actually autocorrected my name to be Dobby Juices in the McDonald's app, and I literally cannot change it. I don't know how to. I tried so many ways and it will not change. And I low-key think the McDonald's workers were like bullying me, or making fun of me, or maybe they just thought I was cool. Probably not. They probably were making fun of me for my name. Because they would put like nuggets in my burgers and like change my drinks from like sizes, so they would, instead of being like a medium, it would be a large. And I remember one time when they had given me the nugget in my burger, I remember them literally, I heard them saying like, did Dobby get their order? Did Dobby get their order? And I just thought that was so funny because like they're obviously making fun of my name, and I mean, how could you not? It's actually ridiculous, but I do think that was kind of funny. And for the spread too, I tried to find another drawing, but I could not find another drawing that I had. So I actually just had to draw something to add into my sketchbook. So this is the first thing that I drew, and I don't know, I just didn't really resonate with it. It's okay, it'll probably just end up in the trash. I didn't care for that much. The second drawing I liked way better, so I ended up putting that one in my sketchbook instead. And I did this entirely in Sharpie. I really like drawing in Sharpie. I started drawing in pen after watching a Drawing with Waffles video where she draws in purple pen, and I just really like that because it really helped me not be afraid of making mistakes in my art. It helped me not be afraid of making lines and stuff, and I felt just more confident when I draw with a Sharpie or a pen, because I know that everything is permanent, and like I can't just like erase things a billion times. I have to just do it perfect the first way, or just deal with it and move on. So I definitely recommend, if you're like struggling with your art, specifically you're like just not confident in it, or you just feel like you're always overthinking, I would definitely recommend just start drawing in Sharpie or pen or something that you cannot erase, because I think it can just really teach you a lot about how to draw things, and like the easiest way to draw a certain thing. So I would definitely recommend that to anyone. Toga is also one of those rare characters that I generally really like drawing, and they're also my favorite. A lot of the times when I have a character that I really like, they're not necessarily my favorite character to draw. I have plenty of characters that I really, really like drawing that aren't actually my favorite characters at all. I just like drawing them. I think it's fun. A character would be like Jax from the Amazing Digital Circus. I don't really like their character that much. I don't care for her really at all. I still like her character to some degree, but like they're just like whatever. Like I don't really care about them that much. But I really, really do like drawing Jax, and I think it's just because I really like drawing rabbits, so it kind of just fulfills that like I have. But beyond that, I just don't really care for that character, and that's the same thing with a lot of characters I really like drawing. But Toga is one of those characters that I generally love drawing, and is also one of my favorites, so it's always a pleasant feeling when I do end up drawing her. I just really like a lot of her attributes. I love her hair. I think her hair is so cute, so fun to draw. I love it. I also love her eyes. In all my drawings, really like giving characters like under eye bags. I don't know why, I just like doing it, so I usually do it for like literally all my characters. I like drawing a lot of like eye creases and wrinkles and stuff, and like lines there. I just think it looks nice, and Toga actually does have that in her character design, so it really allows me to do that and feel like justified for doing it. And yeah, so I'm now finding some crayons to color on top of this to kind of give this drawing a little bit more color, so that's not just black and white, and that way it really pops on the page, and we can add in some new colors to our spread that we maybe didn't have in there before. I really love doing these spreads with like the interactiveness of it. I like watching videos of people like have their interactive sketchbook spreads, and that really inspires me to do some of that for my own. That's why I really like doing it for most. I like things that flip outwards or are hidden, or like secret messages that you might not have seen before. I think that that's just really fun to do. And so I definitely really like this, how the spread ended up turning out. I think it turned out really, really cute. Now I'm adding some yellow for her hair. I wanted to try to find a blonde, but I genuinely don't know where that crayon went. And since we're just going off of like the crayon pile in one of my bins, we just had to go with yellow. And then I also pulled out some random blue that I just found, also in that same crayon bin, from when all my crayons knocked off my table and fell on the floor, and I just put them all in these bins. And yeah, and I'm just adding some blue around it to kind of just like bring it more to the front, and that we can have some sort of background. I am like actually terrible at drawing backgrounds. I cannot draw a background for the life of me. I mainly just use like other drawings that I've done, like doodles and stuff, as like a background sometimes, like different shapes. And then sometimes I'll just literally use pictures I've taken in real life. I take a lot of pictures for my Insta. I like doing like outfit of the day like spreads on my story, and then I just like save them to a highlight. That way I can look back and be like, oh, I really like the outfit, let me see what I was wearing, and then I can just recreate that look if I'm like don't really know what I want to do. And I just like doing it. I think it's fun. So I have a lot of those pictures, so I like using those as my background sometimes for my digital art. That way, because I kind of feel weird taking a random picture off the internet, because it's like someone else took that, and I don't know if that's like bad to do that. I feel like it kind of is, so I'd much rather just use something that I personally took a picture of, and not just like a random person's photo. But now we're actually putting the spread together. So I have a bunch of these like Danganronpa playing cards. I lost a few, and a few got damaged, so I just decided to start using them in my sketchbook. And yeah, I really like them as backgrounds. This is actually the second time I've used the Monokuma Joker in the sketchbook. I think he's actually in a different page as well. I just like that card. I think it's funny, and I like how pink it is, so I'll continue to use it. I think there only was 2, so those 2 are now in my sketchbook. And if it's not in this sketchbook, it's in the one before that. But, yeah, I really do I do wish I would have moved that clock. I honestly hate how covered it is. I just think it looks really ugly. But then on the other page, I'm going to do just a collage. I just don't really feel a need to put a drawing in there. I just don't really think it needs to be. I think that the main drawing itself is fine enough, so I don't really care that much to have a detailed drawing like I do on the other page. Yeah, so I just kind of added some random things. I like to use like thank you cards I get from my Mercari and Etsy orders, just because I think that they're kind of fun, and I want to use them. Like, they obviously took time to make a thank you card, and so I would much rather use it in my art than just like throw it away, because I think that like they took time to make it look all nice and stuff, so I might as well make it look cute in my sketchbook. Yeah, so I'm just taping everything down, making it all look super nice. I really want this page to be super pink and girly and fun. It kind of reminds me of my Jax page I did when I went to go see the Amazing Digital Circus like movie episode thing in theaters. I immediately really wanted to draw Jax, just in dedication, because the episode, it was something. It was definitely something. I don't want to like go in like depth about how much I kind of low-key hate it and the series, but let's just say that I really do think that the pacing of the show and the transitions between events was so poorly done and so jarring that it really just took me out of the atmosphere of what I was supposed to be watching. And then I kind of have these like little text stickers. They don't actually make sense in anything that they're saying. It's not like an actual conversation, but I think it looks cute. And there was at one point that I had enough to actually make an actual conversation, but that's just like the leftovers that I have. So it didn't actually really mean anything, but I do think it looks cute. And I have this little paper clip from I think it was a trading card I bought, and so they paper clipped it. I paper clipped something to it, so I decided to use that because I thought it was cute. And yeah, so I'm already adding like a lot of like hearts and stuff that's like I feel like very Toga-esque. She's a very cutesy character. That's something I really love about Toga. She's so feminine and so girly and fun and like teenage girl. And I think that's really interesting for a character, especially a villain character who's a teenager. I think it's really common for someone to have a teenage character that's like a villain be like very depressed and like emo and like edgy and like their whole life is ruined and like they're never gonna recover. I think that's very normal for someone to have a character that's especially a teenager act like that. But Toga she's just so not that. And I think that's because she isn't really depressed. Like, she's not sad. She enjoys her life. She enjoys living it the way she is. And she just doesn't want to change that to make other people happy. She wants to be happy the way she's happy. And so I really like that about her character. About, like, just the fact that she just isn't really this just sad girl that's, you know, just being taken in by a bunch of men, essentially. She's, like, literally just, like, her own person. And she exists beyond them, which is just very refreshing and stuff. And so I really like that for her character, because I feel like she's just so much more than just, like, a teenage girl who is an outcast. She is, like, literally just a person. And I just love her so much. And I'm adding all these stickers. A lot of these stickers I got from, like, LPS orders and K-pop orders. Sometimes I buy K-pop photo cards. Not very often, just because I just don't really see a need in spending that much money on a photo card. But sometimes I will buy some. Mainly, I bought a bunch of mocha ones. And I bought some other ones, too. Some Cordis ones of my bias. Just because, especially for mocha, I can never pull mocha, literally ever. I usually pull like Iroha or Wani and Minju, but I literally never ever pull mocha. So I wanted to get some because I literally pulled no mochas in like the multitude of albums I bought. So I just bought some ones. So that's where that one mocha sticker came from, and a lot of these tiny stickers are from that same person. They gave me a lot of really, really cute stickers that I really enjoyed putting in my sketchbook. I really like the stickers that are like puffy or add texture to the page. That's a big thing that I love adding in my spreads, is texture. I think it's just fun when you can see things that are popping out and not everything is just flat and one-dimensional. I enjoy being able to see the craftsmanship that was put into it, and like how it's kind of unconventional. Like in my Jack spread, I have this big ribbon that's just glued in there, and it does not close because it's so thick. You can actually see it peeking out in the video. But yeah, I really like how that looks. And with that, we're done. I really do like how the spread came out. I think it came out really, really cute. And I like the way that the actual painting itself really folds up and stuff super nicely. Yeah, I really, really do like this spread. And I hope you enjoyed this video. I wanted to post another longer video. I hope it wasn't too boring to just hear me yap the whole time. But yeah, my sketchbook is becoming very, very thick now. Bye-bye!